Oh, hello. Today we're going to make a honey vanilla glazed pork chop with some sauteed zucchini and a quinoa salad for dinner tonight. First, we're going to start with making the glaze, which is pretty simple. You want 1/4 of a cup of honey. We're just going to save a little bit here since we're showing so many cups being used by doing everything together. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of vinegar. Oh, 2 teaspoons of vinegar, this one here. I used a white balsamic, but you can use a regular old white distilled vinegar or whatever you have. I went with white vinegar or white balsamic because I think it's going to give a little fruity element that'll be really nice with the honey and vanilla. So we'll put that in there here. We're just adding everything into the pot. After that vinegar, we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. This is artificial. You have regular, go ahead, use it. Don't be crazy about it, you know. Then we're going to add our spices, which is a mix of 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, 1/4 teaspoon of ground mustard, 1/8 of a teaspoon of black pepper, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You can change this if you want, or a little more or not. So we'll put that in there. And then we're just going to give everybody a quick stir till it's put together. There. It's going to be really thick at the beginning, so don't be too surprised. Paprika is going to add a little heat, so if you're really averse to heat, you can always do smoked paprika, which will give you a similar flavor, but not as much heat. Same with the mustard. If you don't like it, you can always change this up. You can add different ingredients. You can take things out. But since we have the vanilla, we're not going to play with the flavors too much. That vanilla is going to give a lot of sweetness and other things. If you want to make that sweetness a little more pronounced, you can always do a little bit of sugar in there. That would also help give it a color. You're going to heat your oven to 375 for these, and I got our pork chops plated over here. So, what we're going to do, since it's glazed here, we got our glaze. It's nice and runny. You can see the honey's mixed with the vinegar and the vanilla, and it's looking really good there. So next I'm going to still hold on to my whisk. Fortunately, I could not find the handles to my brush. I don't know why. So I'm going to give everybody just a quick glaze here. Not too much, just on the tops for right now. And then we'll flip it over and give it another one here. So, there we go. Everybody a quick flip and get the other side. Now, you can always taste your glaze before you put it on the meat, just to see where it is. I know what this will taste like, so I'm not too worried about it. And you can add a little more salt and pepper, just your own personal taste on top, too. I'm going to keep it pretty basic here. That honey's going to add enough, so don't worry too much about adding that sugar. Like I mentioned, if you like it a little sweeter, it would probably be too much, honestly. But it would create a nice crust, especially if you're going to do these like on a pan versus baking in the oven. I'm just doing baking in the oven since it's a little easier to control, and it frees up stovetop to do stuff. Alright, so we're going to pop those in the oven, and we're going to come back with doing the quinoa first. Okay, so while the pork's going, we want to check on it about every 15 minutes or so, but we're going to get started on the side dishes here. In this bowl, I have about 1½ small onions, sliced thin, and about 1/2 of a large red onion. I'm going to put a little oil in this pan, and we're going to cook it down, and we're going to get them nice and soft. We're going to pull them out, and then we're going to do our zucchini in there. On the back here, I don't know if you can see it, is a pot that I have about 2 cups of stock. It's starting to bring up to a boil, and when that's done and ready, it will go into, that's where our quinoa will go in and cook to be making for the quinoa salad. So I'm just going to put a little bit of good old-fashioned canola oil. I could use olive oil, but I want to get this done quick. So a little higher smoke, a little higher temperature oil will be just fine. If you have a nice fancy no-stick pan, you can always use that. So, alright, we're going to add these bad boys in. And we're just going to keep them stirring low and slow for a little bit. Get them cooked. And then when they're cooked through, we're going to pull them out. So we can start doing our zucchini and doing that in batches. We got a lot of zucchini since we have to feed a bunch of people today. There. I'm going to get a spoon here, stir it, get it going. Now, one of the tricks about onions and peppers is they will sweat and cook down just a little faster, get a little closer to the consistency you want if you put in just some salt or a little bit of sugar. Or some sugar. Just something to pull out that moisture. So it tricks it out. So I'm gonna mix a longer cook. So I'm gonna put in just a few grinds of salt, and then just a pinch or so of sugar. Apologies there, thought I had it out. Did not. Just there, a little pinch, not too much. So we're waiting for it. I'm gonna turn our light on here so you can see a little better. Keep it going just about every minute or so. You want to stir it. And I'll come back once that water's going. While you're waiting for that water to get going, you do want to rinse your quinoa. Quinoa is a lot like rice, so we'll get on that here. So, be right back. Alright, so I'm coming back after about a minute or so, minute or two. I'm just letting the onions and the peppers sit for a bit. And I give them a quick stir. You can already see they're getting that good color in there. They're starting to break down. We want them to still have a good grit to them, a good chew, so we're going to let them just sort of sit, but not too long. So maybe another 2 minutes and they'll be good to go. And we'll probably be doing that because our quinoa water is almost there. I'm going to grab another spoon to give that a stir. Just stir there. Make sure it's evenly heating, not getting too hot in one spot. You can use stock or bouillon, or just plain water if you want. I think quinoa is a lot like rice. You need to give it flavor to go. Alright, so it's pretty much there. We're going to turn that just a hair and get it going. Got another stir there. Okay, so we're going to add 8 ounces of quinoa to 2 cups of stock. And we're going to let it cook for about 12 to 15 minutes. I pre-rinsed it there. A little extra water won't hurt. There. And then also what we're going to add is we're going to add about half of a small diced onion and about 1.25 teaspoons of minced garlic. That's just going to add some flavor to it and make it have some extra flavor in there and make it even better. So I'm going to give her a quick stir. Make sure she keeps boiling. The quinoa will just absorb it, so you're going to do about 12 to 15 minutes on it, just wherever you want it. I like my quinoa a little softer, so I'll probably go a little closer to the 15, but if you like it a little firmer, you can go a little less. Now, it's just going to be a salad on the side. Don't worry if it finishes before your pork. Same with the peppers and the onions. It's all going to get added in once the zucchini's cooked and mixed together, so just timing wise you don't have to worry too much. Alright, so we've had our pork chops in for about 15 minutes now. We're going to give them a good twist. I did pull off my onion and, ooh, smoky there, my onion and bell pepper because they were done. They got a little burnt, but not a big deal. Joys of cooking with kids at home. You can see here we got a nice little golden, and we're going to give these a good flip and give them one more glaze. Let's get some more color on them. If you want a real deep color, you can always finish them in a pan, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to a little extra with the sauce here, just to make sure they have extra flavor. So I'm actually just going to give them a quick glaze like this. There we go. Make sure everybody gets a good amount. Might have to transfer a little over. They're not level, so not the end of the world, but see, everyone gets it here. There we go. Now, got some of the stragglers there. Make sure they're even. And we'll pop her back in for about another 10 minutes or so. They're cooking pretty fast. I checked them. They're all pretty close, but a little extra. It's always better to go a little safe with pork than under. So put that back in the oven. There. Here, I spilt a little, so it's going to get all steamy. And you can see, too, that our quinoa is going. Give it a stir every once in a while. Make sure nobody's stuck to the bottom. There. And then we're going to start on our zucchini. Now, this is why I'm going to food safety people get crazy at me. I do have 2 tongs that look very similar. So don't be afraid that I'm using it. But I might use that. But I also do have, probably use a spatula here for the zucchini. So first things first, we're going to get rid of this bad boy. Just for example, to hold up and so you can see it. Alright. Just a little bit of oil. We're a little low on oil, so I think we're going to switch over to using some olive oil for the zucchini. I know different oils, people complain, but so Give it there. And then we're just going to put about a layer or so of our zucchini, and then we'll give them a crack of, these are cut probably about 1/8 to 1/3 of an inch, give or take, or 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. Can't talk today. So I'll put these down in a row here. We just want them to cook real quick. I did turn down the heat to just a medium-low. And as it finishes, we'll put it in with our onion and pepper that's on the far side there. You might be able to see. If not, so what? Oh, well, there, I probably got flagged by the algorithm. There. Just give them that. Give them a little salt, a little pepper. Flip it over. Go over it real quick. Not too much. There, just a quickie. There. Move this back. Just getting them cooked. We just want them to get a nice, they're there. You can see they start to get translucent, so that's sort of a good way to know once you start to see the seeds start, for lack of a better term, pop open. You know, they're pretty much ready to get ready to flip. So, this little guy here is pretty thin. I just want them sauteed just a bit. They get a little char on them, not the end of the world. So, we want them tender all the way through and cooked. So, there. You can see I got a couple burn marks. Just got a little distracted with the kids in the background cooking. Oh, there we go. We got some in the middle that are getting good here. You can see that's sort of what you want. So give them a flip. I'm gonna cook there. Again, get brown food. It's tasty food, they say. If you want one more stir here, turn down the heat just a bit, because I think they're a little high. There. Got about 4 or 5 minutes left on that quinoa. Alright, so give everybody a quick stir. Oh yeah, there we go. Everybody's starting to look good. Now, if you got chef hands like I do, you can always just use your finger as sort of a helper. So, there's always some really great YouTube videos of like these little old Indian and Pakistani and ladies who are like, they're just stirring like boiling sauces with their hands, basically. So, go, getting a good char there. If it feels like stuff's sticking, you can always have a little more oil. We're going at a lower temperature, so we shouldn't have to worry too much there. So, we'll keep doing that, and we'll probably pull this here. We'll pull this first round so you can see what it looks like on the back and the front. So there's a good front. Oop. There. Oop. You want to show. Alright, then it's there. So it's pretty much cooked through. We want a little bite. I always like a little bite in my vegetables. So we'll pull those, keep going. You'll probably go about a minute and a half on each side. So, be right back. Alright, so I moved the zucchini over to another burner, switched burners basically, because I wanted to show you what the quinoa will look like when it's done. You want it to be almost like a sushi rice looking. So we used a tricolor here, but if you have it all white, it'll all look that, or whatever color. I like it to be just a little bit like it's popping in your mouth, almost like roe, if you like sushi. So that gives you an idea. We're going to let that cool on, just off from the heat, and when it's done, we'll add everything in and finish that salad up. Be right back. Oh, and that's our timer on our pork, I believe. Alright, so that is our pork, and it was nice and done. I just temped it, and it was a good 150, which is a little higher. 145 is where you want to go. So we're going to let this just rest, cool down before we cut into it or do anything with it. You can see it's got a nice glaze and a beautiful color. And it's going to taste delicious with everything else here. Alright, be right back. Alright, so we're going to finish the quinoa salad. We have just the last couple pieces of zucchini cooking, and our pork is just about perfect. You can see it here, we got the onion and garlic, and it gives a great flavor. So what I'm going to do to finish it, and apologies, I thought I had this bad boy out here. There he is. A little bit of our toasted sesame oil, just about a tablespoon or so, just enough to coat everybody. That's probably good. There, remember you can always add, it's really hard to take out. Then we're going to add about 2 teaspoons, or about a good squirt of lemon juice. I don't have any fresh lemons, unfortunately, right now. We're just going to do about a teaspoon. Quick trick, The lid is about a teaspoon, so if you don't want to need an extra spoon, you just go like that. And then we're going to add a couple of diced tomatoes there. Pardon me there. I think our last piece of zucchini are done, so I'm going to pull them off the heat there. A couple diced Roma tomatoes there. Mix it in. Give everybody a good stir. Give her a taste. See if it needs anything. Might add some black pepper. I'm thinking about it right now. But you can always adjust the taste. This is a quick salad. You can wait till the quinoa is completely cool, but you can see it's giving off some liquid. So, I like them to get a little bit of a cook. So, I wish you could smell that toasted sesame oil. It's so good. Alright, got a spoon here. I'll give it a quick taste, just see where it's at. Oh, that's exactly where I wanted it to be. So we don't need to mess anything up. I'll come back with the finished plate there so you can see how it all looks. Alright, and here is our finished plate. We have our honey vanilla glazed pork, our nice sauteed vegetables there, and our nice quinoa salad. You can add a little green onion if you have it, or anything to finish this. I'm playing with the flavors, you know. Always experiment. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, and keep a frozen meal in your freezer, and you can have a lot of fun cooking. Bye.